Alrighty, today we're going to be replacing the tailgate on the Mark LT, as well as doing an oil change, beginning diagnosis work on the electrical issue, giving the interior a light cleaning, and hopefully finding the exhaust leak. I am a bit beat. If you notice, the nice new tailgate that we were putting on the truck has a ding in it, a big one. That's because the nice new tailgate we were putting on the truck is actually screwed up to the point that it won't work. So if you look at this end here that I never noticed, you can look at this seam, see that it's all screwed up. This is all sorts of mangled. This was pried up because they were trying to push the hinge out for it to work. The guy told me he has no idea if it works or never tried to put it on or something, but I no longer believe him because it looks like somebody tried to put it on this truck and it didn't work. If you can believe it, this is that truck. It might not look great on camera, but let me tell you, it is a world of difference compared to how it was. I mean, the dang thing went like that, basically. And we were able to, just with a handle, 2x4, miscellaneous punches laying on the floor, rags, hammer, etc. I did have to, where did that guy go? I did have to make one sort of custom tool. This guy, I had to grind him down to that angle, but other than that, it looks 80 times better. I just wish it was perfect, you know, like that one just about is, but it isn't. Got the oil change done, and we've spent like the last 2 hours banging out a tailgate. So now it is time to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to do the electrical and the interior detail and whatever else we can manage to bust out today. Alrighty, so it is about 11 o'clock at night, and I kind of stopped recording video just because we had to rush through everything else that we did. So to catch you up, I vacuumed out the interior. I also found and removed, hopefully properly, it had an aftermarket keyless entry and remote start system that I removed. I don't like aftermarket funky business like that. Unfortunately, in the process, the wires that go to the DVD player were looped in with these aftermarket wires and had the same orange cable ties used. Anyway, long story short, I was in a hurry to get to the actual issue, the gauges and everything shutting off randomly, that I had pulled all the wires to the point to where I thought I had identified everything and clipped a couple of them to make removal a little easier. Well, it turns out one of those, or a few of them rather, were for the DVD player. So I'm going to have fun. Well, 3 of them are not going to be an issue. But there's one that wasn't just a wire, it was a cable of some sort, I think for the audio but that's going to have to be completely replaced as opposed to just repaired. So I'm gonna have fun ordering that one, but otherwise I did find the issue. So here are, let me carefully, I want to be gentle with this thing. Here's my gauges. I really don't want to replace this gauge cluster because it's going to be difficult finding the F-150 gauge cluster as with the Lincoln down there for the Mark LT. But basically, that wasn't very gentle. But anyway, the issue is this guy, I'm assuming one of these, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. One of these 18 different soldering joints, or rather, yeah, 18 there. One of these guys is going to be the culprit because as I took all this apart and as you wiggle and move this connector, my symptom shows up. So I've got a little magnifying glass to check those out. And I'm here at home because I had to come home, giving me the ability to take a shower though. But anyway, I'm going to remove these Torx heads there and see what it looks like. So first off, as far as the flickering like mileage readout, odometer, all that stuff, which is this guy right here, that's your display. As you can see, it's hidden right about there, but you see that little burn mark in there. I'm wondering if the short or whatever is causing this guy to not work is right there. And what I'm probably gonna have to do if I want this, sorry about the thumb shot, what I'm probably gonna have to do if I want this to be nice is I'm gonna have to replace this whole deal. So our next issue is, let's see if I can get a little bit better light. So this, come on, focus. But if you see from your point of view, the right-hand side of that little screw, that little Torx head screw, there's like a chipped section of the circuit board here. Well, what I noticed, let me see if I can get you to notice it as well, is this guy. See that movement? This guy is loose. There, I got a little bit more light on there. I mean, you tell me if any of these look bad to you. But I gotta say, I inspected it with what I thought was pretty well, and I cannot see any broken solder joints anywhere. Basically, my thought is that top connector just being ever so slightly loose moved to the point to where one of the prongs wasn't making good contact anymore. And my thinking partly behind that is, as you saw that little busted out area of the circuit board, I think it's been doing that for some time. Perhaps it wasn't even tight at the factory because that was, you know, it wasn't tight at all. And so, like I said, I think that little movement wore a spot, made it so the connection wasn't as strong, and hopefully tightening that down and then cleaning the contacts with some contact cleaner, and maybe running, like I'll get a fine wire and kind of rub it up and down each of those prongs in that connector there, and hopefully that'll solve it. Forgive me being sleepy. It's like 12 or it's like 11:45 going on. It's going on midnight. It took me forever to figure out how to get these little guys off. Finally, I found somebody on YouTube. I'll have to post his channel in the description. Use a fork, get under there, pry it off carefully. They're kind of fragile. And of course, the other thing that bothered me is that you're pulling on the motor that's connected to the circuit board, and I feel like that's a high risk of blowing out the solder joints. But at the same time, that seems to be, you know, it seems like you have to pull those. So, in fact, I know you do. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. Hopefully that will fix this, except for the screen, unfortunately. Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they're all related.